her feet tell all. Zola Budd out on the track for this women's 3,000 metres. Zola Budd, who on her previous appearance here set a new Commonwealth record in the 1,500 metres and will be looking to repeat that feat today. She holds the UK and Commonwealth record, 8 minutes 56.13, which she set a year ago, and she's certainly in the shape to lower that figure. Some people have suggested that she might even come close to the world mark, which was set very recently by Bondarenko of the Soviet Union, but it's a very good time, 8 minutes 42.3, and perhaps that attempt may have to wait for another occasion. Zola Budd certainly herself says that her first priority is to win the race. She'll be accompanied here by Susan Tooby of Cardiff, who we see very often on the roads and cross country. There she is, Susan Tooby, the 25-year-old from Cardiff, but for her it's a rare appearance indoors. It's in fact her first ever appearance in this country. Agoston and the guest runner, Candy Carter, also of Great Britain. The Hungarians having only one scoring competitor here, which means that the first Briton to finish will score the points in the match. Call back again. Zola Budd looking her usual anxious, frightened self almost before that gun sounds. Away they go then for this women's 3,000 metres, and Zola Budd straight away into the lead. Well, since her last appearance here, Zola has had to undergo more criticism in the newspapers, some of it from fellow athletes, some of it from officials, and it seems to be an ever-present problem for this quiet, introvert young lady who is one of the most massive talents the world has ever seen. Zola Budd seems to put it all behind her and goes out and does what she's best at, running record performances so often.
Well, it's much too early, of course, but that first lap, 34.75, absolutely spot-on record shooting.
Steve, Zola Budd, number 2 there, settles into the lead with Susan Tooby behind her. The Hungarian has been overtaken by Kathy Carter in the green vest and red shorts, who's the guest competitor. It'll be interesting to hear your views, because it has been suggested this week that a lot of the other athletes in the British camp aren't particularly happy to see Zola appearing for Great Britain. Is that a generally held view, would you think?
I don't know, Alan, really. I think perhaps the biggest problem is Zola herself. She doesn't really integrate with the team, and I think that causes bad feeling. And where you have bad feeling, I think you're going to get a little bit of bickering, and maybe one or two of the other athletes are not too happy about the whole situation. A lot of these things do get blown out of all proportion, of course, by the media, but the most important thing is that Zola, sets her sights on what she wants to do and gets on with it, and is not affected by it all, really.
Zola Budd leading, 12 laps to go. Susan Tooby in second place. The guest Kathy Carter in the green vest is third, and the Hungarian Agostan in fourth place. Zola Budd, holder of the world cross-country crown, the world record for 5,000 metres, and winner of the European Cup in a fabulous 1985. One thing is sure, despite all the criticism which surrounds her and the hostile views of many people, wherever she goes in this country, the crowds, the paying spectators, always seem to be very much on her side.
That's right. I mean, she's an entertainer in that sense, Alan. I mean, she gets out front and very, very fast, and the crowd love it. It gives them something to clap, and she always runs very, very well.
And they're certainly going to love the time that was displayed then, because it proves that Zola Budd is once again churning those laps out at a fabulous pace.
Well, yes, 2 minutes 18.95 for 800 metres. She's shortly coming up to the 1,000-metre point. It's in fact slightly slower than when she set her British record, but at level pace, it's absolutely spot on for a world best. And now they're passing 1,000 metres, 2 minutes 53.57. So at a level pace, that's almost exactly in line for about an 8:42, which is the world best.
Well, I think, Zola this year looks much stronger than last year. And I think her last appearance on the indoor circuit proved that. And as we say, she's pulling away. And if she keeps the rhythm going, which running is all about rhythm, if she keeps that particular rhythm going and doesn't slow up, it should be a tremendous performance from her. But it's deceptive when you watch her, because she looks as if she's just almost jogging along there. But the pace is very, very respective indeed.
Just under 9 laps to go then for Zola Budd, pulling away from the rest of the field. Tubi in second place, Carter third, and Agustin fourth. The crowd responding to the clock. And it's been pointed out that Zola has a different, neater style of running. We all know how the splayed action almost of legs kicking out caused that problem in the Olympics with Mary Decker, but she seems to have a neater, more disciplined style this year, Steve.
Well, she looks like she's got some plasters on her toes, so that could be a new technique, but I think she's obviously growing. I was talking to one of her friends, and they said that she's actually grown 2 inches in the last year, and so when you're developing like that and the muscle structure changes, obviously your style changes, but the indoor area is not really the best place to actually see your style, because it in fact confines the athlete from running in a natural way, and perhaps we're probably not seeing Zola in a full flowing style that we would do outdoors.
7 laps to go then, and Zola Budd in sparkling form.
And she's certainly well inside British record pace and just about world record pace. An interesting question for Steve. I mean, every single 200 metres has been between 34.6 and 35 seconds, so it's absolutely metronomic running. I mean, how easy is that, Steve?
Well, I think when you're fit and you hit a rhythm, it's easier to keep that rhythm than to change it. One of the worst things in racing is when someone actually does that in races, when they pick the pace up or drop the pace. It breaks your natural rhythm, and not only that, it breaks the concentration. Zola's almost locking herself mentally and physically into a rhythm here. And the only thing that can actually stop her is tiredness. If she keeps on going at this particular rhythm, which she looks capable of doing, obviously we'll see a very fast run.
Under 6 laps to go, and this the crucial part of the race for Zola Budd, because she's out on her own now. She'll get no help and no competition from the rest of the field. That's not being disrespectful to them, that is being factual, because you saw there perfectly just what a gap exists between Zola Budd and the rest in this race. She's now on her own, running against the clock, but she's done it before and she's overcome the problem. 5 laps remaining for Zola Budd, on course at this stage for a British record, and still within sight of a world record.
Yes, 5 minutes 48.19 at 2,000 metres, and that's 8:45 pace. And if she can just find something on the last lap or two, she could even get that world best.
Well, it's very easy to be optimistic, but Zola's probably running, I suppose, a little bit slower than world record pace, actually, when you work it out. But the rhythm that she's got is tremendous, and she seems to be picking it up as every lap goes by. With her strength, which she's obviously got because she's done a lot of background work for the international cross country, the 3,000 metres indoors is the ideal preparation, and I don't think really that she'll tire. We'll just have to see if she picks the pace up at all.
That's the chasing group, in which the Hungarian has got ahead of Susan Tubi, so too has Kath Carter, but the race is all about Zola Budd and the clock. The times are shouted out to her at each lap. She'll have 3 laps to go this time round, and the rest of the field are over 150 metres behind her. A massive gap, as Zola Budd has 3 laps to go. You could probably just hear and see there the trackside official shouting out the time to Zola Budd. Forget that pained look on her face, because she often has that. The problem for Zola is to keep the concentration and the speed going when there's no one forcing her along, apart, that is, from the crowd, because the crowd are giving her tremendous encouragement. Bondarenko's new world record, not 5 seconds on Mary Slaney's previous mark. Can Zola Budd go inside it? 2 laps to go.
She's picked the pace up again, Alan. She's running about 4 seconds outside world record pace, but I mean, as she's picking it up, she's also clipping seconds off as each lap goes by. So with 2 or 3 laps to go, she could even pick it off the world record. She picks up with a really fast last lap.
Remember that world record, 8 minutes 42.3. She needs around 69 seconds for the final 400 metres to get inside Bondarenko's mark. That's going to be very, very tough indeed, but Zola Budd is tough. The bell sounds. You can see the problem. 8 minutes 6.95, 8:42 is the record she's chasing. Can she do it? The crowd literally on their feet, proving the massive support that Zola has. She's going to lap Susan Tooby at the back of the field, or possibly anyway, because she's certainly well inside of her, and that might help to pull her along for the final few metres. That might be just the sight that she needs. Susan Tooby's back, and she's going to be very close, 8:42. She's surely going to do it. Yes! A fabulous new world record for Zola Budd. Bondarenko's mark of 8:42 is beaten by 3 seconds, and Zola Budd makes the biggest headlines again. The crowd gave tremendous encouragement, and Zola Budd gave them what they came to see. The Hungarian Agostan comes in second place, way behind Zola. Kathy Carter third, and Susan Tooby, who clearly didn't enjoy the experience, well back fourth, and a rare smile crosses the face of this very private young lady. World record holder for 5,000 metres outdoors, now world record holder for 3,000 metres indoors, and it was a very good world record too. Zola Budd answers her critics in the best possible way, and silences many of them surely. Although, to be fair, no one's ever doubted her talent. What people do doubt is her right to call herself British. She has that British passport. She appears and runs for Britain and enhances our reputation as a sporting nation, surely, by all her appearances. And regardless of what you think of the situation, there can be no doubt that Zola Budd does wonders for Great Britain standing in the sport. Steve, what a great performance.
Well, that was really tremendous, really stirring stuff. I think really in the back of her mind, Zola must have gone out with the idea of going for that record, because she took the lead right from the gun and just kept piling on the pressure, lap after lap after lap. And that's a tremendous mental discipline as well as physical. And it's a tremendous record. I mean, to knock 3 seconds off it just after the record had been broken, that's going to echo around the world. And I think everybody knows now that Budd is ready for an outdoor season to match perhaps people like Decker and the rest of the world. It's going to look forward to a really tremendous season.
That was Susan Tooby, incidentally, who she didn't quite lap, just ahead of her, who still had a lap to go at that stage. 8:39.66, the previous world best having been 8:42.3, a 32.7 last 200 metres. With Mary Slaney expecting a baby this year and Kuika now 35, the stage looks set for Zola Budd to dominate the world in 1986.
And we've seen now all the women